I don't know what to do with Gabriel Davis.
In the great Gabe Davis wars, I'm like a centrist. 3 catches, 40 yards, 0 touchdowns. Then he goes nuclear against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I just
10 targets, 201 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Look at the release.
There's your separation.
Great route.
Stutter and go. Gets by clean.
That is unbelievable.
Maybe the greatest catch I've ever seen.
I mean, he just went absolutely stupid at the end of the year. Is that the real Gabe Davis, or is the guy who has, basically been an inconsistent player throughout his career? Is that the real Gabe Davis? What does reception perception tell us about Gabe Davis in this Buffalo offense?
In the great Gabe Davis wars, I'm like a centrist. I find myself somewhere in the middle here, because from a talent perspective, like reception perception, he's not a great separator. 33rd percentile success rate versus man, 36th percentile success rate versus press. Now, I will say that was a improvement from his year 1 to year 2 results. So there's a chance he could be kind of developing a little bit as a player, but I also think he might average out, level out as a Devontae Parker type of guy. I mean, an average starting receiver in Josh Allen's offense, like, pretty cool. Yeah, that's great. I think there's a chance that Gabe Davis doesn't like. I think he has a shot to come under 120 targets, which is kind of crazy for where he's being drafted on some platforms. I mean, I think he's the most platform sensitive guy this year, because you draft on like the best ball sicko sites. He's going as like a top 20 player in the 4th round. That's crazy. But like in your home league, I've been saying all off season, I want to see where the normal people draft Gabe Davis. Because if you've been drafting fantasy teams, it's August 10th as we're recording this. If you've been drafting fantasy teams before today, you're not a normal person, and that's okay. We love you for that.
We love you.
You keep the lights on, baby. Yeah. Keep being weird with us, man. That's great.
Yeah.
But you're not normal. The normal people, I think they'll draft Gabe Davis, at or below his consensus ranking, which is like wide receiver 29-30. Week 14 was the first game that he saw 80+% of the snaps last year. 8 targets, 5 catches, 43 yards, a touchdown.
Okay.
The next week, 5 catches, 85 yards, 2 touchdowns. Week 17, he missed week 16 because he was on the COVID list. 3 catches, 40 yards, 0 touchdowns. The final week of the regular season, 14 targets, 3 catches, 39 yards. And again, that game was in his RP sample, and he was terrible in that game. Like, there's a reason he got 14 targets and caught 39 yards worth of it.
Oh,
there's
my God.
a reason for that.
14 targets, bro. Holy hell. He got 3 balls.
The next game against the Patriots, when they blew him out, 3 targets, 2 catches, 41 yards, and a touchdown. And obviously then he goes nuclear against the Chiefs.
Yeah, I just
10 targets, 201 yards, 4 touchdowns.
If you look at his reception perception data, it's relatively below average in a lot of spots. Yeah. Number ranked 34 out of 56 charted players in success rate versus man. In success rate versus zone, he ranked 41st. That's, again, where does he win? I guess you could say, contested catch? He's pretty good with the contested catch, right?
And a 9-route runner. I mean, he ran 9 routes at a high rate and won there on the corner. Like I said, he's a burner, pretty big, and can win contested catches. I guess if you're drafting him at that, best ball sicko ceiling, like, you have to believe he's going to take another step as a player. And I also think you have to talk yourself into him shaving off targets from Stephon Diggs. And I don't see that. Like, I don't see that happening.
Well, I don't know. Is that true? Because like he could just step in and take all the targets that we're going to Cole Beasley.
But do you see that happening? I don't think I think Isaiah McKenzie is going to have a role as the slot receiver. And Dawson Knox is a tight end,
Yeah, no, I agree.
Gabe Davis is going to play with Josh Allen. Like, that's a great setup. The best analysis I think I've heard on Gabe Davis was when I was on the Established to Run podcast with Evan Silva, and he said it's going to be hard for Gabe Davis to fail in this role. And I would agree. I think it's going to be hard for Gabe Davis to fail in this role. I think it's just about managing expectations with it. Is my opinion.
But that's what I mean, though. What does failure mean? If you're taking him, again, his average his ADP right now is 77 overall. But like, let's say you're playing with somebody, and again, when we're talking about the Gabe Davis wars, people are taking this guy like in the top 50, right? So
that's crazy.
If you're taking him in the top 50, I could absolutely see him disappointing. If you did have to pick a side, and right now on fantasy Twitter, you got to pick a side on Gabe Davis. I'm out in terms of Gabe Davis. Again, if he gets if it's after pick 75, okay, I think that's a fair range. But before that, can't do it, man. I just can't do it. He's too volatile of a player. And again, it all depends on team setup. I think we hammered that, especially in this range. Team setup is huge, man. And so maybe I take a stab at him depending on what my team setup looks like. But I would say generally overall, he's a player that I'm definitely not going to reach for